old pappy and he had him a steel. He blew red light in it. Ooh, white lightning, something like that.
That was like an exclusive sneak peek at your upcoming album.
It's actually not even my own song. It's not even a cover. I stole it. Oh, telephone. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Polititalk.
This video is going to be.
Come say again.
This video is going to be extremely dated within like a week.
Okay.
We're going to talk about all the current potential 2024 candidates.
And listen, guys, we're not trying to get political here. We're just talking about it.
Ron DeSantis just announced that he's going to be running for president last night in his like super hype up, exciting.
Dude, he was screaming. He was bouncing off the walls. His face was red like a tomato. He was just so like into it. His eyes were bulging from his head like Rodney Dangerfield. He was just like he was going hard. He was foaming at the mouth. He was so into it.
He was like, I will be your president. Yes.
We're going to take a quick little look at everyone who's in it, both Republicans and Democrats.
The Dems?
And it's going to be from the website Axios. There's a hurricane outside.
Sorry, there's literally 3 tornadoes, 1 meteor, and 2 hurricanes outside. And a bolt of lightning. Sounds like they're wheeling around people out there. So should we establish who I'm voting for first? Because the people have been asking in the question comments I've noticed. There's been a lot of comments about people saying,
who are you voting for?
Dear Derek, who are you voting for? I'm voting for Barack Obama.
I thought you were going to vote for Yngwie Malmsteen.
Well, I was, but he doesn't sound like he's American.
Oh.
But you know, Yngwie is pretty cool by my book.
Republican, we have Donald Trump.
I think I've heard of him.
Nikki Haley.
Is that a dude or a woman? Not a lot of people know this, but Ramaswamy was my salami brother in the hood.
The ones that we won't talk about are the ones that they blur out as potential candidates, which would include Mike Pence, Chris Christie, and Glenn Youngkin. We have this thing where it shows the person's name and his campaign pitch. So President Joe Biden. Biden vowed in a launch video to protect personal freedom, such as access to abortion, voting rights, and Social Security. He presented Trump as a threat to America and said that he is equipped to take him on. He's touted legislative wins on infrastructure, the environment, and semiconductors.
Really?
That's what he's running on.
It sounds like a lot of hogwash to me. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure he wants you to have your abortions and all. But I dare question his work on the America, if we may call it. I don't think Joe Biden, per se, is exactly the man for the job that he thinks he is. Now, I don't want to step over line or use common speak.
No.
But I'm afraid Joe Biden is a old man. And he's a friggin' idiot. But he just might be the right man for the job.
Well, here's Donald Trump's campaign pitch.
Donnie T, the man himself. Now not a lot of people. I've seen him twice in real life, personally here. If you remember, we had him on the show. And in that moment he was here, I seem to remember him saying something like, "I will run again. I will build back better. The great American comeback."
Well, see, that's what you think his pitch
not a lot of
would
people
be.
know this about Trump. He was a big business guy. Before he ran for president.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
People think
Yeah.
politicians.
Yeah.
Trump was...
Trump, 76, who announced his 2024 bid last year, has shored up strong support among some Republicans and is leading in early 2024 polls. He faces a number of legal investigations, including one that has resulted in criminal charges. His campaign pitch, though. Yeah. The former president has repeated false statements that the 2020 election was stolen and casts himself as a victim of overzealous, politically motivated prosecutors. His campaign speech emphasized similar themes to his previous bid. including focusing on border security, the economy, and crime.
Well, that didn't sound biased at all.
Ron DeSantis, his campaign pitch, widely considered Trump's most serious challenger in the Republican
What about
primary.
Joe Biden? You just said he was well equipped. You said
Well,
he can't lose.
Republican.
Oh, sorry. I jumped to conclusions.
DeSantis is building his campaign around many of his legislative successes in the Sunshine State, centered on a far-right cultural agenda on
Sorry,
race.
you said a far-right extremist?
Well, on race, gender, and education.
Wait, how many race things has he? What did he? Wait, what?
His far-right cultural agenda on race, gender, and education.
What has he said about race? What's the far-right race position?
I don't know.
That's like kind of vague.
They do have a link to that.
Or in getting job. If he means like not giving certain races an advantage.
I can't really see.
You know, well, it's weird. It's not even his positions on race. It's his far-right position on race. You know, the typical far-right position on race.
I can't see what they mean by race.
Well, it's the typical far-right position.
I mean, it's a lot of like the LGBT garbage.
Well, I wasn't. Yeah.
Okay.
When you hear the bell, remember, duck and cover. It could be a bomb dropping.
Okay. Marianne Williamson. She's just a self-help author.
There's always one of those, isn't there?
No one cares about her. Then
He
we
gives a
have
damn!
activist and lawyer Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the nephew of the former President John F. Kennedy.
JFK, you know, he was a president, you know.
He's kind of a weird guy. During a nearly 2-hour campaign announcement, Kennedy, an environmental lawyer, criticized the pharmaceutical industry and slammed the school and business closures during the pandemic, asserting that the government and media lie to us.
It's almost like being a Democrat just so you could have the easier opponents. Well, I don't want to compete against all the Republicans. I'll go as a Democrat. It's kind of genius. Oh no, I'll have to debate Joe Biden.
I just made $480.
Did you?
Yeah.
Can I have some?
On eBay. Vivek Ramaswamy. Wait, Ramaswamy, wasn't he the one that got Don Lemon fired?
I thought Don Lemon got himself fired.
Well, he did, but he was the one that, like, I guess, got him going enough to the point where Don Lemon told his overlords to be quiet in his earpiece.
Don Lemon was
they were
like,
arguing.
Don Lemon was like, shut up! I'm trying to have a concise liberal opinion.
Ramaswamy, his campaign pitch, he said he wants to restore America's national identity and touts a vision that pushes policy further to the right than Trump would. He's the author of the book Woke Inc. and an outspoken critic of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs.
I'm the last person who should be talking about this stuff. I don't want to
Hutchinson.
accidentally nudge the polls in the wrong direction.
Yeah, careful, Derek.
I don't have a
Jeez.
lot of political
Watch out.
influence within the circles.
And then we got Larry Elder, who's just kind of cruising.
Well, his last name is actually just what he is. He's old. He should have been Larry Old Guy. He doesn't look too bad.
Asa Hutchinson. He's a vocal critic of Trump, so he's definitely not going anywhere.
See, him and RFK should switch.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like they're kind of like, well, I don't know, though. You're not really a Republican for being against the vaccine, because there's lots of Republicans that support it. Where do you go? If you're, like, against the vaccine, you don't really have a side. You just kind of pick one based on which side you think can help you win the easiest.
Yeah.
Because being against Trump, that is like a Republican position in a way. Not all it's a position a Republican can take and still say they're a Republican. Like being anti-vax, it doesn't have a side necessarily. It's just sort of a thing right now.
And then lastly, we have Tim Scott. He's presenting himself as a baggage-free alternative to Trump and DeSantis.
But DeSantis is the baggage-free alternative to Trump.
Yeah.
All these Republicans are just like, I'm the baggage-free version of Trump. Trump shouldn't even be on the Republican thing. It should just say MAGA.
You vote Democrat, Republican, or MAGA?
RFK could, I guess, go there too.
All right, so that's it.
I'm voting for everybody.
I want to.
Oh, I can't just choose
like,
one. I'll vote
gosh,
for them all.
I love Biden and I love Trump. Oh, this is so hard.
Can I get Trumpin or Biump? I'm combining them.
I want Bump.
President Bump, please let us have the balls. If you combine them together, you have a 160-year-old man. It would be great. We'll call them the wise one. They'll both be there and they'll both be old. To be fair, though, Trump would destroy Biden in a foot race. Like, Biden would get the initial advantage, but he would trip, he would stumble, he would fripple, he would crumble to dust. Trump would have the consistency. He'd have the little sweatband on and like the ankle warmers for no reason. He'd have like a bat utility belt for no reason with he'd be like swinging his grappling hook. I don't know. Be pepper spraying women who are trying to like get. Probably can't keep that. Oh wait, I gotta tell everybody who to vote for.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not trying to like push anybody to make any decisions, but if you could all just please, just get out there and vote for Yngwie Malmsteen.